Hey, yo, 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 it's the ugly truck driver. How the flock are you? Well, I've been pretty quiet on this, but I'm getting just a little fed up on this border deal. You've heard me gripe and bitch before about build the fence on the Mexican border. And our Congress said, well, we're going to put up 700 miles of fence. And I said, no, we need 2,000 miles of fence, wall, whatever you want to call it, impenetrable, from San Diego to Brownsville, Texas. Now we're getting overrun with all these kids and people coming over the border by the thousands from Guatemala, Central America, and Mexico on the railroad cars, whatever. Our border patrol has been totally inundated. And of course, once they get across now, we're having to warehouse them. And they're coming in with all kinds of sicknesses, illnesses, and everything else. H1N1 flu, scabs, stuff like that. Our southern border is being overrun. And what do we hear from Washington, D.C.? Crickets. Most of the news media pretty well buries it. You know, we're supposed to be hospitable to these illegal aliens. What part of illegal does our government forget? And of course, we got this military guy, Tamarisi, that's locked up down there in a Mexican jail. Obama's talked to the Mexican president, never brought the subject up, while this military guy sits in a Mexican jail. And yet we've got another that's a possible traitor sitting in Texas, is Bo Bergdahl. He's getting better medical attention than most veterans get at VA hospital. But I think what just sort of ripped my knickers today on this border thing is that yesterday, a Mexican military helicopter flew into American airspace and fired its automatic weapons at Border Patrol agents. Now, what do we hear from the news media? Nothing. What do we hear from the White House? Nothing. What do we hear from Congress? Nothing. Our Border Patrol is being inundated. It's underfunded, undermanned. It is time, I believe, that the governors of California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas activate their National Guard, get them on the border, locked and loaded. And if we can't put a big metal fence up, let's put a bunch of military types with loaded weapons up. It's time, okay? After yesterday, when this military Mexican chopper fired on American border agents on American soil, does anybody understand? The country of Mexico just fired on American citizens on our soil. That is an act of war. But see, the libtards, the socialists, the bleeding hearts, the whiny types don't want to know doodly squat about it. A Mexican helicopter in American airspace fired on American citizens on American territory. That is a direct act of war. When we got into Vietnam, there was less provocation with the Gulf of Tonkin incident. See, people got short memories. America just had an act of war committed upon it by a foreign nation, even if it is our next door neighbor. And there has been no response. God forbid I was president of the United States. I'd have been on the hotline to the president of Mexico and sat there and put that son of a bitch in his place. And tell him the next time this shit happens, guess what? We're coming over your border. You think the Alamo was bad? We're coming into your own country. Damn your drug cartels. Damn your crooked cops and your crooked police and your corrupt people. We're going to kick ass and take names. But see, our government has no testicles. An act of war was committed on American citizens on American turf by a foreign government's aircraft. And we hear nothing. I keep wondering what it's going to take to get our government, that is the office of the president, the Congress of the United States, the Pentagon, the Department of Justice, or anybody else, to get the hair up on the back of their neck and say, I'm rolling up my sleeves, and this is what's going to happen to you because we're not taking your crap no more. I don't care if these illegal aliens are 3 to 6 to 12 to 15 to 18 years old, along with the drug cartels and the drug runners and the rest of them. I see no reason why we cannot have our military sitting on our border just like the Russians did over in Europe and Germany before the end of the Cold War. And if anybody came over the border, guess what? Didn't matter, man or woman, kid or grown up. Bang, 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 bang. And I hate to say it, sounds cold and cruel, but maybe if enough of them get killed, they'll get the message all the way back down to Panama, Guatemala, in the middle, Central America. We don't want your people here. Not this way. Our forefathers came to America all those years ago and did it the right way. Why, in the name of sweet Jesus, do we have to kiss butt with the American government, the Mexican government, yeah, even the American government, to get some action down there? Because our government has no backbone. Our government has no willpower. Our government won't follow its own constitution. I got a pen and a phone. I'll do what I want. And while all this is happening, where's our president? Oh, he's at a fundraising thing out there. What was it? Illinois or Wisconsin? Raising money for his party. I haven't heard peep one out of him on it. People in America, get your head out of your rectum, get your head out of the sand. Wake up. We are being invaded. And I can tell you, we're already invaded by Muslims and Islam and Sharia law, and they won't do anything about it. Now we're getting the illegals of whatever nationality you choose to call coming over our border, and nobody's doing nothing about it. And our Border Patrol agents, our ICE agents are told, don't draw weapons, don't shoot. That's like the rules of engagement we had when I was in Vietnam and they had over in the Middle East, in Afghanistan and Iraq. It's bullcrap. America just had an act of war committed against it by one military Mexican chopper firing on American citizens on American soil in American airspace. And nobody's doing jack dooley squat about it. America's at war, or should be, and doesn't even know it. Wake up, America. It's time to take this country back and make it what it once was. I am so fed up with this turn of events, I could puke. And that is the truck driver's opinion. I'm totally pissed off.